So the yarn is from Meadowcraft Dye Works, and I have the colors Dark Garnet and Raku Glaze. It's Rock Shelter Sock, fingering weight, 100% Merino Superwash. So, and for the needles, I have a little invention. So usually we have this kind of length for the hat needles, and I want it shorter, and this is what I get, this much shorter. What I did is I used the longer needle from my shorties, and then put here a mini to small connector, and I used my 4 inches needles from the usual hat knitting set. So let's start. Since the foliage hat will go with my foliage shawl, I want to use the same cast on, the purled cast on, and for that I will do, if you saw the video for the shawl, you know you have to do a slip knot, put that stitch on the needle. Now I'll put it on my shorter one, and we start yarn in front, and we start by purling this stitch, and then put this new stitch on the left hand needle, and again now we insert the needle in between the stitches. It's in focus. So in between the stitches, purl, and that's a new stitch. Put it on the left hand needle, and continue in this manner until we cast on all the stitches that we need for the hat. I will cast on 92 stitches. So here I have my 92 stitches plus 1 stitch for knitting in the round, so total 93 stitches. And I cast on like this with the longer needle in my right hand. But now if I want to start knitting, I'll have to do it with this needle, so I want to change them. So this way I will show you what I was talking about. I have the needle, the connector, and here I have the shorter needle, that 3-inch needle that comes with the shorties set. And I have to so I'll just change the places of the needles so that it's easier, because it's more comfortable when you have the longer needle. Oh, sorry, I want to put the small needle in the mini cable, so it's kind of difficult. I have to put the connector first. Here I put the mini to small adapter, not connector as I said. So putting the longer needle here. I have my 4-inch needle on the right side of the knitting. You have to pay attention not to twist the stitches. You see how we have just enough stitches for my needles. Maybe you can stretch them out even for a normal hat length of needles, but I like it better this way. I don't have to stretch them so much. So now for knitting in the round, we have to put the last stitch, slip the last stitch to the left needle and pass over that last stitch that we have there. So now we are knitting in the round. And just to follow my shawl pattern, I will have this cast on as row number 1, and I will start with the contrast color, and I will knit row number 2. So you could do this thing, slipping the stitches and everything now or after knitting this row round. I will do it like this so that there will be no confusion. We're knitting in the round, and we start with the slip 1 yarn over, and purl 1. So for this row we will repeat this: slip 1 yarn over, purl 1 for all the stitches. I forgot to put a marker in the beginning, but I will do it afterwards. So just continue like this: slip 1 yarn over, purl 1, again and again until you finish the round. So I'm finishing the round, and since I didn't put the marker here, the stitches get all over each other. So let's put a marker here, and so we put it just before that stitch with the yarn over. You could do that in the beginning and just forget about it. I'll put it now. So here I have just a few more stitches, slip 1 yarn over, and purl 1. So slip the marker, and we continue with the main color. Just leave the contrast color behind the work and pick up the main color yarn. And I split the yarn here with the marker, sorry. There it is. So what I did also here, I undid the slip knot, and this way I could pull on this stitch. So I recommend you do that too. I can't show you anymore because I already did it, but just try and do it, because if you leave the it's not focusing. If you leave the slip knot, you have such a distance here between the stitches, but like this you can pull on it and it's okay. So let's continue. Now we are knitting a row number 3, and we brioche knit and slip 1 yarn over. So brioche knit means you knit together the stitch and the yarn over, and after that slip 1 yarn over, just like we did in the previous row, and you just repeat that until the end of the round. So here I finished the round. The last is slip 1 yarn over. After that, slip the marker to the right hand needle, pick up the contrast color yarn, and we start a round number 4, and the repeat is slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl. So it's kind of the same that we did in round number 2, only we had freshly cast on stitches and we didn't have the yarn overs. That's why we did slip 1 yarn over, purl 1, and now we have the yarn over, so now it's slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl 1. So again, slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl, and repeat that until the end of the round. And for the brim of the hat, you just repeat these rows 3 and 4 as many times as you want to. I am at row 28 now, and I have 1.5 inch or 4 centimeters of brim. And now I want to start the actual pattern, the foliage pattern, and we'll do in the following way. Since I cast on 92 stitches, well, and plus 1 for joining the round, now I have from 92 stitches I have 46 brioche knit columns. So we'll do 8 columns of brioche knit. After that, here we start the foliage panel, just like for the shawl. So let me show you. Brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 5, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 6, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 7, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 8, slip on yarn over, and I'll place a marker here. So here we have on these next 7 columns, we'll do the foliage panel. So we start with the increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, 4 stitches increase. After that, slip on yarn over, left slide decrease. So slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, that means 2 stitches and the yarn over, and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over and brioche knit 4 columns. So that's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over, and here we have ended the foliage panel. And here we continue to knit those 8 brioche knit columns, and we'll get to the half of the hat. Slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I don't know, if you want to, you can, oh, let's put a marker here also. That's the half of the hat. So here's the start and here's the half. That's 32 brioche knit columns. So now we do the same thing as from the beginning of the round. Oh, actually, I should have done also a slip on yarn over. So again, from the beginning, brioche knit 8 columns, 1, 2, slip on yarn overs in between, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Slip on yarn over, and now we place another marker. That's the beginning of the foliage panel. So here we do the increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. So when we have 5 stitches on the needle, we slip the stitch. After that, slip on yarn over, and here we do the left slide decrease. For that, slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over and brioche knit 4 columns. So that's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over, and here we place the marker. That means the end of the foliage panel, and we just brioche knit the rest of those 8 columns that we have in the end. Brioche knit, slip on yarn over, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that was just a test countdown. And slip on yarn over in the end, and that's the whole round. So this is how half of the hat looks like. We have 8 brioche knit columns in the beginning, foliage panel in the middle, 8 brioche knit columns after that. Well, then we have another 8, so it's total 16 brioche knit columns, and then the foliage panel again, and 8 in the end of the round. So after this round, as usual, we have to knit those 3 rounds in between. So in flat knitting, it's rows 2, 3, and 4, as I say usually. But now, since we had only purl stitches in row number 2, I'll say that we knit rows 4, 3, 4, since we brioche purled in row number 4. So you repeat rows 4, 3, 4. You just brioche purl with the contrast color, brioche purl, slip on yarn over. After that, you brioche knit, slip on yarn over with the main color, again brioche purl, slip on yarn over with the contrast color, and then we'll do the next round with increases and decreases. Row number 2 from the foliage panel. Let's knit those 8 columns in the beginning. 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 5, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 6, 7, and 8. And now we get to the foliage panel, and we start with a brioche knit. After that, increase, again brioche knit, left line decrease, and brioche knit 3 columns. So let's do that. Brioche knit, slip on yarn over, increase here, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over. Here we continue the left line decreases, so slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, that means 2 stitches and a yarn over, and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over and brioche knit those 3 columns that we have until the marker. 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, and that's it for the foliage panel. After that, you brioche knit the next 8 columns, again 8, and then here we get to the next foliage panel, and you do the same thing that we did now in the beginning, and in the end you brioche knit 8 columns. So just, I showed you the hard part, the foliage panel. You just do the symmetrical part here in the back, the foliage panel, the rest brioche knit. So after that, knit rows 4, 3, 4, and then I'll show you the next pattern row. So it's row 37, because I have 28 rows for the brim. If you have a different number, that's just row number 3 from the foliage panel. So we just brioche knit those 8 columns that we have before the panel. so before the until the marker. Just brioche knit and slip on yarn over and repeat. And here I am. So we start with the left side decrease, slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over. Here in the center we increase by 4 stitches, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3 columns, not 3, 2, sorry, 1, slip on yarn over, 2, slip on yarn over, and when we get here to this left side decrease line, we continue it, slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches and pass over the slipped stitch. And after that we brioche knit these 2 columns, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and now you just brioche knit all of this until you get to the symmetrical foliage panel, and then 8 brioche knit columns in the end of the row. After that, as usual, knit rows 4, 3, 4 in between the rows with the increases and decreases, and then I'll show you the next one. Row number 41, or row number 4 in the foliage panel. So in the beginning, as usual, let's knit those 8 columns. Brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and repeat until the marker, or count to 8 brioche columns. So here I am. We start now with the left side decrease, so slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, pass over the slipped stitch, slip on yarn over and increase here, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3 columns, 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, and here we continue the line with the left side decreases, so slip knitwise, knit together the next 2 and pass over the slipped stitch. And in the end, before the marker, we have a brioche knit and slip on yarn over. And as usual, here you have 8 brioche knit columns, again 8 brioche knit columns, and then again you do the same thing that I showed you now, the foliage panel, and then 8 brioche knit columns in the end of the round. And after that you repeat rounds 2, 4, 3, 4, and then we'll continue with the next round with increases and decreases. Row number 45, or row number 5 in the foliage panel. Let's knit those 8 brioche knit columns, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, slip on yarn over, and now we have to do the foliage panel, and we start with 4 brioche knit columns, 1, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over. Now we have to do the right side decrease. For that, slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next stitch, and slip the stitch to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, do the 4 stitches increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, and then slip on yarn over and left slend decrease. So slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches and pass over the slipped stitch. And that's it for the foliage panel. After that, brioche knit those columns until you get to the other foliage panel. You do knit the same way that I did now, and 8 brioche knit columns in the end. After that, knit rounds 4, 3, 4, and then we'll continue. Round number 49 or round number 6 from the foliage panel pattern. Let's start with the brioche knit columns in the beginning. We just brioche knit and slip on yarn over until the marker. And when we get to the foliage panel, we start with the 3 brioche knit columns. That's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over. Here we started a right slend decrease line and we continue it. So slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle and pass over, and then slip the stitch to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and here we increase brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, and here we do the left slant decrease. So slip, knit twice the brioche knit, knit the next together the next 2 brioche stitches and pass over the slipped stitch. And that's it for the foliage panel. And then you brioche knit all of those columns, repeat the same thing in the second foliage panel, and then you have to brioche knit 8 more columns, and then knit rounds 4, 3, 4, and then we'll continue. Row number 53 or row number 7 in the foliage panel chart. So we start as usual with the 8 brioche knit columns, slip on yarn over in between and just knit until you get to the marker, if you have it. If not, until you see that it's the start of the foliage panel, you see the leaf. So in this row we have to start with 2 brioche knit columns. That's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over. After that, a right slend decrease. So slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle and pass over to the right needle, and pass over and then slip to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over. Here we increase in the center of the previous increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, and then the last 2 columns we have to knit them as a right slant decrease. So slip on yarn over, and here the right slant decrease. So slip the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle and pass over the next brioche stitch. After that, slip the stitch to the right needle. And that's it for the foliage panel. After that, we brioche knit all of those columns in between until we get to the next one, and then in the end those 8 brioche knit columns that we have. So after that you knit rounds 4, 3, 4 as usual, and then we'll continue. Row number 57 or row number 8 in the foliage panel chart. So we start with those 8 brioche knit columns in the beginning. You knit until brioche knit and slip on yarn over until the marker. Slip on yarn over in the end. So here it is, the foliage panel, and we start with the brioche knit, slip on yarn over, right slant decrease, slip knitwise, knit the next stitch, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3 columns, 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over. After that, we have to increase here in the center stitch above the previous increase. So brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, and slip on yarn over. And the last 2 columns we do a right slant decrease. So slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle. And that's it with the foliage panel. After that, brioche knit all of those columns, repeat the same thing on the other side of the brioche panel, knit 8 brioche knit columns in the end of the round, and after that knit rounds 4, 3, 4, and then we'll continue. Round number 61, or round number 9 from the foliage panel chart. And we, as usual, start by brioche knitting those 8 brioche knit columns in the beginning and slip on yarn over in between them. If you have the marker before the foliage panel, you just knit brioche knit until the marker. So here it is, and we start with a right slant decrease. So slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip it to the left needle, and pass over the next brioche stitch. After that, slip the stitch to the right needle, and that's it for the right slant decrease. After that, slip on yarn over, and here we do the 4 stitches increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, the left slant decrease here. So slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over, and we brioche knit those 4 columns that we have until the end of the foliage panel. So that's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over, and that's it for the foliage panel. After that, we brioche knit until you get to the other one, on the other side. You knit the same way we did now, and brioche knit 8 columns in the end. After that, you knit rounds 4, 3, 4, and we'll continue. Round number 65, or round number 10 in the foliage panel chart. We start with the 8 brioche knit columns. So that's 1, slip on yarn over, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And now we have to do the foliage panel. So we start with the right slant decrease, slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, and pass over the next brioche stitch, slip the stitch to the right needle, and that's it. After that, slip one yarn over, increase by 4 stitches, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 1 column, slip one yarn over. Here we continue the left side decreases, so slip knit twice, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, pass over the slipped stitch, slip one yarn over, and now we have brioche. We have to brioche knit 3 columns, and we finish this. Slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip one yarn over. So that's it for the foliage panel, and then we have the brioche knit columns, and again the foliage panel, and the 8 brioche knit columns in the end of the round. And then you knit as usual rounds 4, 3, 4. The last round that I showed you was round number 10 in the foliage panel, so this is kind of at this level. After that, I knit again rounds from 3 to 10 from the foliage panel, and then rounds 3, 4, 5 from the foliage panel. And in total, that would be 112 rounds that I have in my hat. So now we're knitting round 11 from the foliage panel, or a total round of 113. We start with 8 brioche knit columns as usual. Brioche knit 1, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip one yarn over, 4, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 5, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 6, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 7, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 8, slip one yarn over, and now we have the foliage panel, and we will knit this way. Brioche knit 3 columns, 1, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip one yarn over. After that, a right side decrease, so we continue this line of decreases, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle. After that, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 1 column, and here in the center, slip one yarn over, sorry, and here in the center stitch of the previous increase, usually we did a 4 stitches increase, but in this round we do only a 2 stitches increase. So brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. That's kind of the difference from the round number 6, so that's why it's another round. So we did the increase, after that slip one yarn over, and here we do the usual left line decrease in this point. So slip knit twice, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip one yarn over, and we continue brioche knitting all of these rounds, and repeat then when we get to the foliage panel, again the same thing that I showed you, and then 8 brioche knit columns in the end of the round. So after that, as usual, knit rounds 4, 3, 4, those usual in between rounds, in between the rounds with the increases and decreases. Round number 12 and the foliage panel chart, or it's in total this is round 117. So we start by knitting those 8 brioche knit columns in the beginning of the round. Brioche knit, slip one yarn over, again and again. And then when we get to the foliage panel, we brioche knit 2 columns, 1, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip one yarn over, After that, our right slide decrease. Here we continue this line of decreases. So slip knit twice, knit the next stitch, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and here we do again the increase, the 2 stitches increase like in the previous round that I showed you. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, and in the end the last column is just brioche knit and slip on yarn over. So this is the foliage panel. After that, brioche knit those 16 columns in total. Again, the foliage panel and 8 brioche knit columns in the end. And then you need, as usual, rounds 4, 3, 4. Round number 13 in the foliage panel chart, or a total, in total this is 121. So we start by brioche knitting those 8 columns in the beginning. Brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, again, then again, and we get to the foliage panel, and here we start with a brioche knit column, slip on yarn over. After that, we right slide decrease, so slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit to the next one, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next brioche stitch and slip the stitch to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, and then we just brioche knit the rest of the columns. That's 5. So brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, 3, slip on yarn over, 4, slip on yarn over, and 5, slip on yarn over, and that's it with the foliage panel. After that, brioche knit those 16 columns and knit the other foliage panel, and brioche knit 8 columns in the end of the round. After that, knit rounds 4, 3, 4, those rounds in between increases and decreases. So for starting the crown, I have 20 centimeters in width, that's 40 in total, and I have 17 centimeters in height. And now for the crown, we will decrease like this. Here we will start our left slide decrease, here a right slide decrease. In the foliage panel, we will continue this decrease like in the shawl. We will have smaller leaves that just finish in to 0 to 1 stitch, to 2 stitches actually, 1 brioche knit and 1 slip on yarn over. And here, as I said in the beginning, we'll do the same, this left slant that goes to the right slant, so we'll have like this decreases, and the other half will be the same as this one. So let's start. So as I said, we start with the left slant decrease. So slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next 2 brioche stitches, and pass over the slipped stitch. So here we have a left slant decrease. After that, slip on yarn over and brioche knit 4 columns, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over. After that, as I said, here we do the right slant decrease. So slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, and in the foliage panel we start with the right slant decrease. So slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over. Here we do the 2 stitches increase, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, left slant decrease, so slip knit twice, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, 1, slip on yarn over, and 2, slip on yarn over. So here I finished the foliage panel, and now I have those 2 times by 8. This is the half of the hat. So just like in the beginning, we start with a left slant decrease, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4 columns, 1, slip on yarn over, 2, slip on yarn over, 3, slip on yarn over, 4, slip on yarn over, and then the last 2 brioche knit columns before the marker, we do a right slant decrease. So slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over the slip stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle and pass over the next brioche stitch and slip the stitch to the right needle, slip on yarn over, and I showed you how to knit half of the hat, so you do the same on the other half. And after that, as usual, knit around 4 3 4. Foliage panel round number 14, or in total this is around 129. So we decreased in these 8 brioche knit columns in the previous row. In this row we just brioche knit them, no decreases. So brioche knit, slip on yarn over until the foliage panel. So we had 8, now we have 6 brioche knit columns here. And now in the foliage panel, we start with a right slant decrease. So slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, and pass over the next brioche stitch, slip the stitch to the right needle, and that's it. After that, slip on yarn over, and here we increase by 2 stitches. So brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, and here we do the left slant decrease. So slip, knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over and brioche knit this last brioche knit column, slip on yarn over, and this is it for the foliage panel. And then just like in the beginning, brioche knit these columns and slip on yarn over, no decreases. Slip on yarn over. So this is one half of the hat. Now you knit the same way the other half, and then knit rounds 4 3 4 as usual. I'm knitting around 16 of the foliage panel, or in total this is around 133, and I changed to my shorties again, just like in the beginning. I have both now, both 3-inch needles and the mini cable. So let's start knitting, and this round we continue to decrease here from this on the sides of the brioche knit columns. So we start with a left slant decrease, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns in the middle, 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and then here we do a right slime decrease. Slip knit twice, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle. And this is it with this part. And we get to the foliage panel, and here we have to, well, this is a slip on yarn over. Here we brioche knit, slip on yarn over. Here we increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, increase by 2 stitches. After that, slip on yarn over, and brioche knit 1 column, slip on yarn over again. And here we have the last 2 brioche knit columns from the foliage panel. We have to do a left slime decrease, so slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches, and pass over the slipped stitch. And that's it with the foliage panel. Slip on yarn over, and we do again just like in the beginning the decreases. We start with the left slime decrease, so slip knit twice, knit the next 2 brioche stitches, pass over. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 columns, 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and here we do the right slime decrease. So slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, and this is half of the hat, so you repeat the same thing on the other half. And after that, knit rounds 4, 3, 4 as usual. In round number 17 of the foliage panel chart, or round 137, we start by knitting, brioche knitting the 4 columns that we have before the foliage panel. So brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over. And here we have the foliage panel, and in this part we have to start with 3 brioche knit columns, 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, and then the last 2 brioche knit columns. Here we do a left slime decrease. So for that, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next 2 brioche stitches, and pass over the slipped stitch. Slip on yarn over, and that's it with the foliage panel. After that, again, brioche knit 4 columns, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 4, slip on yarn over, and we got to the half of the hat. So here we do the same thing as we did in the beginning, and after that knit rounds 4, 3, 4. Round 18 in the foliage panel chart, or in total that's round 141, and we start by decreasing. So we start with a left slime decrease here, continue this line of left slime decreases. So slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next 2 brioche stitches together, and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip on yarn over, and here we do the right slime decrease. So slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next stitch, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle. So this is what we have here in this only 2 brioche knit columns and 2 slip-on yarn over columns. And then we get to the foliage panel, and here we have 4 brioche knit columns, and 2 of them we just brioche knit, slip-on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip-on yarn over, and the last 2 we have to do a right side decrease. For that, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, and pass over, slip to the right needle, and after that slip on yarn over. And here these 4 stitches we do again a left side decrease, just like in the beginning. And after that slip on yarn over and a right side decrease. So slip knit twice, knit the next stitch, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, slip on yarn over, and that's the one half of the hat, and then knit the other one just as we did. And after that, knit rounds 4, 3, 4. Round 19 on the foliage panel chart, or in total that's round 145. And in this round we start by knitting brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 3, slip on yarn over, and here we do a right side decrease in this last small leaf that we have. So slip knit twice, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle, and after that slip on yarn over and brioche knit these 2 columns. So brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and then knit the same way the other half of the hat, and then knit rounds 4, 3, 4 as usual. Round number 20 on the foliage panel chart, or round 149 in total. We have to repeat only right slant decreases in this round, so it's 3 on one half of the hat and 3 on the other. So let's do the first one. Slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over the slipped stitch, slip to the left needle and pass over, and slip to the right needle. So that's one, slip on yarn over. The second one, slip knit twice, knit the next stitch, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, slip on yarn over, and then here we have the last 2 brioche columns for this half of the hat. Oh, sorry, slip knit twice, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, slip on yarn over. So let's do the other half. As you can see, I'm knitting with a magic loop now the last few rows. So like this. Just pay attention not to lose the yarn over from the. And now let's start. Slip, knit twice, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, slip on yarn over. The second right slant decrease, slip knit twice, knit, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, slip on yarn over, and the last right slant decrease, slip knit twice, knit the next one, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, slip on yarn over, and that's all for this round. After that we do a round, we need a round with the contrast color, and then we'll bind off all the stitches, so that's why I'm just showing everything until the end. So here we start with a slip-on yarn over, brioche purl, slip-on yarn over, brioche purl, slip-on yarn over, brioche purl, and then with the other half, slip-on yarn over, brioche purl, slip-on yarn over, brioche purl, slip-on yarn over, brioche purl, and that's it for this round. And now we have to bind off. Usually I do it like this. I just knit the first stitch in the round and then pass over all the other stitches. If you want to, you can use a tapestry needle for that. Just leave a longer tail and just, well, let me show you how I do it. So we knit this stitch, slip it to the left needle and pass over all the other stitches. And then put the stitches together with the other half of the stitches. And pass over all the other stitches on this knit one. So pass over, pass over, pass over. Usually I take the stitch with the brioche knit stitch with the yarn over when I pass it, and the brioche purl one without the yarn over, and again the one with the yarn over, and the last one. And now I can make this stitch bigger. Pull the yarn, we pull on this stitch, and that's it. We can cut the tails and just, I'll take off my markers. I just left them there for you to see where I have my halves of the hat. So now just cut the tails and weave in the ends, and that's it. This is how it looks like. We have these two smaller leaves, just like in the shawl, and the other ones are bigger. If you didn't watch the shawl video, you can watch it now and make a shawl that will go with this hat.